or our website. It's the noon edition of our program, so come on down the pecan tree line lane, through the screen door, down the hallway into my kitchen. I'm Larry Marble. Hop Sing's going to feed us chicken fried steak, jalapeno gravy, plenty of Nanny's yeast rolls, a cold cucumber salad, and a glass of iced tea that I will pour for you myself. But right now, let's check at least a week's worth of ag weather, and we'll use the San Antonio region because it's smack dab in the middle of down on the farm country. Today, 89 and 69, 10% chance of moisture under the sun. Same song, second verse on Thursday. Same song, second verse on Friday, but Saturday mornings, low 58. 79 and 66 on Saturday. 91 and 70 on Sunday the 25th. Showers begin on Monday the 26th, 77 and 52. They continue on Tuesday the 27th, 63 and 52. On Wednesday the 28th, showers, 69 and 53. And then on Thursday, 69 and 51. And on Friday, sunny, 71 and 52. Now, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I'm thinking we might get a quarter of an inch if we're lucky. If we're not, it might just be 15 or 20 points. Neighbor, let's take a look at those commodities of ag interest. And remember, this report contains just a snapshot of a price in time, so do not use this if you need to make a trade. December corn, $4.13 and a quarter, up 4.5. January beans, $10.72 and 3/4, up 9. December Kansas City hard red winter wheat up 4.5 at $5.75 and a half. December number 2 cotton up 32 at 71.34. December live cattle 104.40 down 105. January feeder cattle 126.22 down 47 points. Looks like December lean hogs are up 92 at 70.17. November class 3 milk 21.20 down 29. Our December U.S. dollar index down 466 points on news of a possible stimulus, which puts money into the market, which downgrades the volume of our dollar. It sits at 92.57. And your December West Texas Intermediate crudes down 155 at 40.15. Neighbor, there's your commodities of ag interest. Neighbor, now it's time for today's edition of Focus on Ag from the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network. You know, COVID relief negotiations continue in our houses of government. Kerry Martin from the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network describes them.
A new COVID relief package may not happen before the November 3rd election, but a post-election deal with billions for agriculture and other sectors now appears much more likely. The Senate will vote this week on some $500 billion in relief, including more paycheck protection loans for small businesses, unemployment, schools, and virus testing. But Democrats are expected to block the new effort. American Farm Bureau's Andrew Walmsley.
I think the chances in a lame duck are much, much greater than obviously before the election. But there could also be a scenario, depending on the outcome of the election, where it might wait till new Congress and might not see a package till January or February.
And that's a long time for U.S. agriculture to hold out.
Fortunately, ag's in maybe a little bit better spot than some other industries because of the CARES Act. We have the second round of the coronavirus food assistance program that farmers are able to sign up for right now. You know, I think there's still a long-term need in ag that we're going to need another boost in there, particularly as we get into the winter. You're going to continue to see shifts in food trends as, you know, what the future holds for all Americans, especially as we're seeing some upticks in cases across the country.
Still in question is whether the final bill will include $20 billion in aid that the Senate GOP set aside for agriculture in a recently blocked stimulus bill. China is the top U.S. corn buyer. A recent buying spree puts China at the top spot on the U.S. corn buyer list 6 weeks into the marketing year. China has purchased 10.4 million tons of corn for delivery during 2020 and 2021. That's twice as large as the sales for Mexico, which is usually our number one corn purchaser. I'm Kerry Martin on the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network.
Thank you, Kerry. Speaking of corn, that consistent daily announcement of new export sales continued overnight, with the USDA reporting 4.8 million bushels of soybeans sold to an unknown destination. Neighbor, there's Hop Sing ringing that lunch bell. You folks fill your plates with chicken fried steak, jalapeno gravy, plenty of Nanny's yeast rolls, and a cold cucumber salad. I'll pour the iced tea and set a space for my friend Benny Cox from Producers in Cargyle, San Angelo. Benny, how did the sheep and goat sale go?
Oh, Larry, we had 5,723, which is shy about 700 from what we've had the last couple of weeks. We got along real well. That old market was pretty zippy. We didn't have very many wool feeder lambs. They sold firm with what we saw last week. The slaughter hair lambs sold from $5 to $8 higher. Some of the heavier weights would have been $15 higher, I'm sure. On these slaughter ewes, they sold from 10 to 15 higher. You know, they were softer last week, but they regained a bunch of that. Kid goats sold from firm to as much as $10 higher, especially on, boy, it was really good on those little old feeder goats. I guess everybody's kind of getting ready for Christmas. Oh, you know, one side of 40-pound goats, lots of those bring up in that 320, 330 range. Some good deal higher than that. But anyway, we saw these slaughter nannies sell well. They sell from 120 to 176. Mostly 135 to 55, kind of like last week. Mature billies from 170 to 222. On the wool feeder lambs that we did see, we saw some of those big old things sell down there around that 150, but some of those lightweights all the way up to 256. Looking at the slaughter lambs, these hair sheep type, they're going to kill, you know, mostly 55 to 60 pounds is your real, you know, popular weight range. They sell from 210 all the way up to 294. Heavier feeders from 160 to 252. And I can tell you those 150s or 60s, they'd be around a yearling, you know, a yearling type, which is really a different animal than you know, most we're talking about. Now, this slaughter ewes, they sell from 65 to $1.26. Most of them in that 90 to $1 range. Kid goats sell a range from 220 to 356, but mostly 275 to $3.
Benny Cox, tell everybody how to contact you.
They can call me on my mobile. It's 325-234-4277. The office is the same area code, 653-3371. Or they can look at the web, which is producersandcargyle.com.
Rumensin presents Trusted by Generations. Headquartered in Amarillo, Texas, Cactus Feeders has been producing high-quality protein at their feed yards in Texas and Kansas for over 40 years. They work hard each day to make sure the beef they produce is safe and nutritious. Director of Nutrition Kendall Carr and General Manager of Wrangler Feed Yard Randy Shields have been working together at Cactus Feeders for 20 years. We asked them what they view as the most vital ingredient in their success. For Kendall, trust comes before anything else, and that includes doing business with a handshake. Beyond trust in their partners, Kendall knows it's important for consumers to trust the beef they consume. Randy believes it all comes back to the handshake deal, that when you make a commitment, you follow through with that commitment. Both Kendall and Randy are proud to carry on the legacy of helping people learn and grow in the beef cattle business. Rumensin has been trusted by generations of cattle producers to help build their legacy. What will your legacy be? Explore more legacy stories at trustedbygenerations.com.
Neighbor, when you hear my cowboy crew riding hard, they're headed up to help Henry Pickett at Abilene Livestock start dispersing cattle from the sale on Tuesday and gathering for next week. Henry, how did that Tuesday sale go?
Pretty good. We ended up with a little over 1,200 cattle, had 360-something cows. High yielding and boner cows were kind of steady. The lower cutter cows were 2 to 3 lower. Bulls were steady. Light calves were 3 to 5 lower, and these yearlings were 5 to 10 lower. They you know, there's just not anywhere to go with them. And
right.
It's October, and the light cattle are lower because hadn't had any moisture, and the wheats, there's not big prospects of wheat at the moment.
Right, there's sure not. Your quality's still pretty good. There's just a whole bunch of them out there.
The quality's really good. We had our first wean sale, and all the cattle in it were really good. The quality was good, and they sold well. We didn't have a lot of them, 200 to 250 of them, but for our first wean calf sale, I thought it was a success.
Good. What do you know for next week?
Just a few odds and ends. We've had a few calls. People still trying to make their mind up to go one more week or sell out.
Right. Well, my crystal ball's broke. I can't give them any suggestions. Tell everybody how to get a hold of you.
Here at the Sale Barn, 325-673-7865. Our cell number is 940-733-8208.
Neighbor, you know, the COVID coronavirus put a crimp in everybody's daily routine, but it did something good, and don't get me wrong, it did lots of things bad, but it did cause people to do something that some of them weren't doing at all. Jessica Dummel and her guests speak about it on today's Texas Wildlife Radio Show. Jessica?
Texans head outdoors. I'm Jessica Domel with the Texas Wildlife Radio Show on the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network. The coronavirus pandemic caused people across the United States to change their daily routines. Some people canceled vacations, some stopped eating out, and many began to work from home. Carter Smith, the executive director of the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department, recently told the Texas and Southwestern Cattle Raisers Association that many Texans headed outdoors.
We have seen a huge uptick in interest in outdoor-related trends, hunting, fishing, boating, camping, kayaking. People, particularly in the cities, very anxious to get outside, really for their mental and emotional and psychological health, if nothing else. Our license year from a hunting and fishing perspective runs from August 15th through August 15th. And last license year, we really started seeing an appreciable increase in license sales in April and May. And I think many people were confronted with these either shelter in place or stay at home orders or the choice of going fishing. And going fishing, they chose. And so we saw a 25% increase year over year sales in our fishing licenses. Last year, we were at about a 9% increase in hunting and fishing license sales over our prior record year, which was in 2017. We were a little anxious to see what was going to happen with the advent of dove season and whether or not we'd see these trends continue with people buying licenses in mid to late August in anticipation of the 1st of September. And the good news is people are continuing to get out in droves. And so our license sales to date are about 9% above where they were last year. So we feel really good about people getting out and bird hunting and planning to get out and hunt.
That was Carter Smith, Executive Director of the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department.
Where has Pioneer Corn Product Development taken me today? Welcome to the local research center in Mankato, Minnesota. I'm in the main building because it's hot and sticky outside, really humid. And I'm looking out the window at a field planted with Pioneer's most advanced corn trait technology, Pioneer brand Chrome products. The breeders here are excited because Chrome technology works across more Pioneer germplasm than previous triple stack products. So at the same time you're getting strong pest protection, you're unlocking more yield potential. I see a couple of Pioneer scientists out in the fields now. Me, I've got air conditioning and a soda, so I'm good. The Research Center in Mankato. Another place that makes Pioneer, Pioneer. You'll hear more from me later. For now, let your local Pioneer sales representative hear from you.
For the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network, I'm Jessica Domel.
Neighbor, when you hear cattle on a Wednesday, we're helping Gary Butler gather for this next Monday sale in Nixon. Gary, let's stop down, water the horses, and tell folks how they sold on Monday.
Well, Larry, we wind up with 1349, 205 cows and 27 bulls. Calf market was tough again. In between calves, sure hard to sell. The better calves still taking a pretty good selling. 2 and 3 weight steers, $1.02 to $1.50. Heifers, $90 to $1.25. 3 and 4 weight steers, $1.12 to $1.78. Heifers, $94 to $1.45. 4 and 5 weight steers, $1.03 to $1.81. Heifers, $93 to $1.53. 5 and 6 weight steers, $95 to $1.25, and heifers, $91 to $1.45. 6 and 7 weight steers, $93 to $1.25. Heifers, $89 to $1.14. 7 and 8 weight steers and bull yearlings, $94 to $1.18, and the heifers, $81 to $1.06. Like I say, Larry, home market sure taking pretty good whipping. We need a good rain. Need some rain up there in the wheat country. Went through the panhandle the other day and it's awful dry. Slaughter cows, 18 to 54. Slaughter bulls, 55 to 80. Bucker cows, 460 to 950. And we had a few pairs, 550 to 1,050, Larry.
Do you know of anything for this next Monday?
Larry, I know of 45 cows coming. They'll probably be middle-aged cows. There's 45 of them. They'll be Brangus cows, type cows, but they'll have a little age on them. Then I have some crossbred cows. There's about 40 of them coming and about 21 calves. That's all I know of right now, Larry.
Well, tell everybody how to get a hold of you for this next Monday sale.
Larry, you can catch us here at Cell Barn 830-582-1561 or 62. Catch me on my mobile 830-857-4330, Larry.
Neighbor, I want to remind you about the South Texas Hereford Association's fall sale coming up Saturday, October the 31st at 12 p.m. at the Beeville Livestock Commission Company. The annual sale is going to be held there, and there will also be a broadcast online at liveauctions.tv for online bidding. Now, for more information on the program or for videos of the consignments, call 361-920-0012 or go to www.southtexashereford.org. Again, that's South Texas Hereford Association's next fall sale, October the 31st at the Beeville Livestock Commission Company. Follow them on Facebook or on their website. Neighbor, have you ever had a horse that develops a condition that looks like somebody took a needle and a syringe and pumped air under the skin? Well, there are several types of afflictions that can cause that. Dr. Bob Judd with the Texas Vet Report from the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network describes them. Dr. Bob?
And the most common cause of subcutaneous emphysema, or air under the horse's skin, is a laceration in the axillary area between one of the forelimbs and the chest. A deep laceration in this area can dissect upwards deeply between the chest wall and the front leg and allow air to enter the tissue, usually 3 to 4 days after the injury. Although the air can enter the tissue acts as a one-way valve and prevents the air from escaping. So as the horse moves, more air enters the wound area and air begins to build up under the skin. These horses can look really strange, and although most of the time the air will eventually be resorbed, sometimes it can lead to a serious problem. The air can enter the structures inside the chest cavity and can even be deadly by leading to pneumothorax, which prevents the horse's lungs from expanding. It is also possible the air can carry bacteria and spread the infection over the entire body under the skin. Although it seems you could just stick a needle in the horse's skin and remove the air, it does not work that way, as the air is in the tissue and cannot be removed with a needle. Treatment involves decreasing the horse's activity level to prevent further air accumulation and temporarily seal the incision by packing it with sterile material that can be changed every other day. Most of these horses also need to be on antibiotics to aid in infection control. Trauma to the respiratory system or to the esophagus can also lead to air trapped under the skin, but this is much less likely than a laceration under the front legs. The air will eventually resorb in most cases, but may require 3 or more weeks to do so.
Where has the Pioneer Audio Tour taken me today? I'm in Coddington County, South Dakota. I'm walking with pioneer farmer Greg Willis. I'm here because Greg is dealing with some sort of fungal disease in his cornfield, and I'm going to identify it. I'm not a farmer, and I don't have a degree in agronomy, but I do have the Pioneer Seeds app and the Threat ID feature that comes with it. This is a new tool from Pioneer. All you have to do is take a photo of your crop. The image recognition technology will do the rest, and it puts the expertise of Pioneer agronomists in the palm of your hand. Gonna take a pic here. And the results are in. Gray leaf spot. Hopefully that means something to you, Greg, because it's way beyond my pay scale. The Pioneer Seeds app. Another thing that makes Pioneer, Pioneer. You'll hear more from me later. For now, let your local Pioneer sales representative hear from you.
I'm veterinarian Dr. Bob Judd. This is the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network.
Neighbor, you know, I almost forgot about old Carl Herman, and I don't want to do that. So when you hear my head cowboy Eddie Arnold calling the cattle back up the hill from the river pasture toward the pens, it's time to talk to Carl. Now, he's busy today with the sale in Caldwell, but I spoke with him about 8 p.m. last night. Carl Herman, you were hauling cattle in. What was it looking like?
Well, I think we'll have a good sale. I think we'll have somewhere around 900 tonight. Probably end up with 1,300. Got a few good cows. I just picked up a load of some nice Brangus cows that be palpated. They're 4 or 5 years old. They're really slick and smooth, and I think they'll be pretty nice. We've got a lot of strings of calves that look pretty good. So ought to have a good sale tomorrow.
Good deal at Caldwell Livestock Commission Company. Tell everybody what time you start and how to contact y'all.
We start at 1 o'clock. My number is 979-820-5349. Call the barn, 567-4119. If you're in the Giddings area, call Max Ebner at 540-8676. I want to remind all of our listeners that we've got a special sale coming up November 14th. That's on a Saturday. Starts at 1 o'clock. We'll have somewhere around 700 really nice replacement females and a few bulls. So we'll be talking about that as we go on from there.
All right. We appreciate it, and we will talk to you after the sale.
Okay. Thank you, Larry.
Neighbor, let's take a look at the things that might affect the cotton market right quick. The market's higher today as talks of an impending new stimulus are weakening the dollar. Reportedly, the Trump administration and the House Speaker are edging closer to a new deal. Now, the Farm Bureau just gave us a report that they don't think that will happen, but if it does happen, it will put more money in circulation for the population to spend. That is the classic definition of inflation: too much money chasing too few goods. Ultimately, the buying power of the dollar gets diluted. The positive side of such weakness is the possibility of increasing exports. Now, today, the USDA will issue its weekly export sales report. That came out at 8:30 this morning, but it has not crossed my desk. Last week, sales were off pace, but Pakistan and Bangladesh were seen as important buyers. For today, support for December cotton stands at 70.40, then at 69.70, resistance at $72. Overnight, estimated volume, according to Keith Brown at Commodity Consultants and DTN, was almost 13,000 contract. Neighbor, let's take a look at the grains, courtesy of John Tuggle. Call 800-288-4453. Milo through Corpus in October, D's plus $2, 1087. We'll call Progresso 850. Hard red winter wheat through Corpus in October, D's plus 75, 646. We'll call Houston D's plus $1, 671. Yellow corn through Corpus Christi in October, D's plus 40, 448 3/4. We'll call Houston D's plus 30, 438 3/4, and Progresso 850. We'll call Houston beans October-November delivery. That November contract list 15, 1049. We'll call Placido November list 60, 1004. Neighbor, the Cargill elevator will be closed for truck unloading today and tomorrow. The Corpus Christi public elevator and ADM remains closed all week. Let's take a look at Texas cotton. We moved 1,518 bale of East Texas, 3,192 bale of West Texas. That brought us to a total of 4,710. And neighbor, the average price on that cotton is about $66.14. Neighbor, looks to me like that's all the time I've got for this edition of Down on the Farm. We appreciate you listening to us on whatever platform, whether it's a Down on the Farm affiliate, our Facebook page, or our website, or one of the other social media platforms. Thank you. Good to